Enola Ojajuni, the National President of Afenifere National Youth Council. To all the leaders of the Yorubas presently, the OPC leader and all the present leaders of the Yorubas, it happened to occur on the 17th of February. I have a meeting in Abuja with Abuja Chambers of Commerce. Unfortunately, my flight was scheduled for Tuesday, and I just have to be in Abuja on Monday. Like I said, we proceed on that journey on that fateful Monday. It was a black Monday, a Monday that I will never forget in my life. A Mondays of sorrow, a Mondays of agony and pains, because what I went through, it was the grace of God, àánú, mercy of God, àti gbogbo àwọn òṣàlẹ̀ Yorùbá. It has saved me for that terrible experience. And what happened to me, I doubt it can happen in Borno State, in Katsina, in all the northern part of this state, because I believe the Yoruba, what our leaders have said, no Yoruba can go to part of the north and kidnap the emir or any leaders of the northern part. So as a result of this, I think urgent needs to be taken in order for us to stop this ungodly attitude of Fulani X-Men, because I was signaled by Fulani X-Men. Like I said, on that 17th, when we get to Ondo State, I'm from Ondo State, after Ikare, the journey was smoothly and we proceed to a town called Akumo. It was after 3 minutes between Akumo and the Nigerian military checking point. In fact, just 3 minutes between Amateku and the Nigerian military checking point, there will be ambush. 19 bullets were thrown in my car, and I sustained 2 bullets AK-47 in my bubble, and other vehicle that was coming from Abuja, other going to Ojajuni State was ambushed along the land, were 9 in number that was kidnapped, and we started that journey. The journey was, I was bleeding seriously. When we trekked, the incident happened around 1:44 in the afternoon. It was 10 p.m. before we stopped trekking in the bush. We were just trekking without no destination. It was after the second day that they gave us access to our food. So I was the only one that have food, because my phone and my laptop iPad was in my travel bag at the front of the car. So they never knew they went through my profile. So they just called me, we know you are the leaders of Afenifere, you see your ID card, you go and stay there, you are a special person. All of you, they just decided to put us separately. And after they asked me to call my family, the first person I called, it was my wife. I told my wife, and I instructed the National Secretary of Afenifere that it should release a press statement that I was kidnapped on my way to Abuja and I sustained bullet injury. That was how we started that journey for 12 days. No food, no medical care. Every day we were subjected to torture. In fact, because I just have to call because medically I'm not fine. I was released on the 1st of March. My phone was being tracked. The funny part of this scenario is that when we were being kidnapped, it was 3 minutes to military checking point. When the first ransom was paid by a young man in Ibadan, they paid the ransom very close to military checking point. When the second ransom was paid by a lady in Kwara State, the money was paid, if you know Yakaba very well, if you're going to Abuja, at the back of a woman that is selling food. The second ransom was paid there. The third ransom was paid opposite Nigeria prison service, very close to the military checking point. My own ransom, I was to be paid in Ikare and Akoko, but because my phone was being tracked, they have to check location. So a day I was released, they knew that I cannot go because sustained 2 bullet injury, I have been weak. One of them just have to go to a journey, about 3 hours journey. They went to go and prepare their food. They gave me the house to drink. After drinking the house, I slept for 2 hours. They carried the leaf and put it in the back of my yansh where there's bullet. So they just told me that we are proceeding on a journey. I have to call, I have to plead that I want to talk to my wife. If I plead I want to make God, I must subject to beating. And the reason why, because I'm a leader of Afenifere. The Afenifere has been giving the Fulani and the Hausa some challenges. They told me. The point where I'm going that every Bogomo Yoruba, every sons and daughters of Yoruba must rise and must defend our land. I'm so glad that we have thousands of OPC here. It's a fortunate thing that the so-called Amateku, let me just put it that way, they've turned into a political appointment. May his soul rest in peace, my great governor, Rotimi Akeredolu. If the man is alive, I can assure you that it will enforce all the Amateku in Southwest to go after those people. Since Akeredolu have died, Amateku, they don't function like they will be functioning. So, as I was saying, so on that day, they told me we are going on a journey. I just have to look at the time. The time was, that was on the 28th of February. The time was 3 or 4:23. We started the journey between 43 until the second day, 5 a.m. We're trekking in the bush. No food, no water. In the morning, they asked to call my wife. I called my wife. My wife said the ransom has complete. I paid much of a lot of money. Nigerians stood up. London, everybody, my family contributed money so that I would be able to die. But I thank God that I came out alive to tell my story, because a lot of people have been kidnapping, but they fear us. They can't come out to say all this. And I discovered that we were trekking from Kapa, we trekked to Ibilo in Edo State. Ibilo in Edo State, I have the authority to say, is the home of the Fulani who are kidnapping or terrorizing us in Southwest. In fact, that day, my wife and my younger brother with the Nigerian Foreign Service, they counted about 5 new motorcycles that was trailing them to the bush, and the money was paid again very close to Nigeria military checking point. So definitely something is going on between our sons and these people. The money was paid. After the money was paid, I was released on the 1st of March. Then they took me to Ikare General Hospital, where the first surgery was commenced and the second surgery was done about 2 weeks ago. But my message to Southwest Governor, because their first priority is to protect life and property. A place where there's insecurity, there's no how you can create jobs, there's no how investors want to come to that state, no matter how the potential of resources you want to have, that nobody will come and invest. I have a message for Ondo State Governor, very important. I have a message for Ondo State Governor, very important. I have a message for Osun State, Ekiti State, and Lagos State, very important, because I've said I'm not going to release any information based on the national security. I was taken, and this Fulani expert, they showed me 5 camps that they have in our land. And they told me in Ondo, they have 26. I will continue to be saying that 26 camps of the terrorists in Ondo State and other part of Southwest making 53 camps. If somebody can have 55 camps in a particular region, tell me. After I was released by the Fulani men, Akure North was attacked because they told me that they are coming. When I'm on board, be only, Lord only. So my fathers and leaders of the Yorubas, it is very urgent, like our daddy has said, life and security of our people is very paramount to us, and we must protect it. We must protect our heritage. State police, community police. If they are named for the Southwest government to come back and rethinking to restructure their Amateku security network, putting the right people, don't avoid them based on party member that cannot confront criminals, putting the right people that can be able to save the lands of Yoruba. And Mr. President, you have the right to do the same thing now, because you are Yoruba, so that your name can be right in good. All this that is happening, it cannot happen to anybody in the north. Now it's happening in those states. Nobody is supporting double justice. It happened in Edo. They are all working against us. When there was a young girl was killed in daylight in the northern part, what are these people do? Yoruba we are not a slave. It is time that we stand up and defend our territory. Lord,